The determinants කියන එක ඇතුලේ සහ factors කියන එක ඇතුලේ there are a lot of independent variables. Right. So that is another technique where you can develop your research topic into a new one. Right. So now, example, to identify the independent and dependent variable. So you can read the example and I have the idea regarding, or else name the dependent and independent variable, right, in this study. So this is a hypothetical study. So the tutor asked 100 students to complete the maths test, right? The tutor wants to know why some students perform better than the other students. So there are some clever students and there are some weak students or else average students. Whilst the tutor does not know the answer to this, right? She thinks that it is might because of the two reasons. Anyway, she identified two reasons, right? Why the students perform better than the other students? Because of the two reasons. So what are the two reasons? Some students spend more time on for the revising for their test, right? Meanwhile, some students are naturally more intelligent than the other students. So these are the hardworking and the naturally intelligent students. So these are the two, this may be, or else this might be the two reasons. As such scenario, the tutor decided to investigate the effect of the revision time and the intelligence on the test performance of the 100 students. This is. Sorry. Investigate. The research idea is to investigate the effect of the revision time and the intelligence on the test performance of the 100 students. If it is so, what are the independent variables and what are the dependent variables for this study? Okay, try to identify what is the dependent variable and what is the independent variable, and type your answer in the chat box. Identify the dependent and independent variable and type it on the chat box. Zoom chat box. Huh? You have the chat platform, so therefore type it. Give me the answers. Do you have the option chat? In your team settings, do you have the access to chat box?
No, madam.
Yes,
No, no. You have?
no, madam.
No, no. Okay. Anyway, it's no issue. So what is the independent variable and dependent variable? What they are going to test?
There are two independent variables,
Very
the level
good.
of intelligence of the students and the revising time for their
Hmm.
test. Those are
Hmm.
the independent variables. And
Hmm.
the results of the maths test will be the dependent variable.
Okay, that means test performance is the dependent variable, right? If you have taken it as a test performance of the 100 students, so you need to remove the 100 students, right? So what is the independent variable? Very clear. Test performance. What is the dependent variable? Sorry, dependent variable is the test performance, right? Independent variable is revision time and the intelligence, right? Revision time and the intelligence. Based on the revision time, based on the intelligence, definitely it will create an impact to the test performance. Test performance. What is the area? Research area? The 100 students. Our sample is 100 students. Okay, you have been given the other activity also. Read the two research topic and try to identify the independent variable and the dependent variable. First one is a study of teacher-student classroom interaction at the different level of schooling. And the second one, sorry, a comparative study of the professional attitudes of the secondary school teachers by the gender. Okay. For the first one, what is the independent variable and what is the dependent variable? Yes. What is a dependent? What is the independent variable? Any idea?
Independent variable is levels of schooling. Dependent one is teacher and student classroom interaction.
Any idea? Any other idea?
Independent variable is study of teacher-student classroom interaction. Dependent variable is different levels of schooling.
Any other ideas? Yes. Yes, as both of you said, sometimes the dependent variable, since we have not with the traditional format of research topic here, so you can identify the independent variables as a teacher-student classroom interaction, and then the dependent variable as a different level of schooling. Right? The other way around, you can identify definitely the different level of schooling will be created any impact for the teacher-student classroom interaction. Right? Sometimes not the independent and dependent variables. So this may be a qualitative study also. This may be a quantitative study, and whereas we don't have the dependent independent, what we are going to test. So at the different level of schooling, right? So what is the student and the teacher classroom interaction for the grade 1 to 5, or else the persons who are having only the A levels, so then the persons who are having the masters, PhD, so at different levels of schooling, so what is the teacher student classroom interaction? So that means it may be only having, in that sense, it may be having only one variable, it may not dependent and it may be not the independent, the only one variable. So at different levels of coding, what we are, how the relationship in between the teacher and the student may be differ, or else what kind of a relationship there. So it may be taken as a qualitative study also. Good, very good. Huh? So the second one, a comparative study of professional attitudes of the secondary school teachers by the gender. What is the dependent? What is the independent? Yes. What may be the dependent, what may be the independent. It's a comparative study. Yes. Yes, what is the independent, what is the dependent variable?
Independent variable is professional attitudes of secondary school teachers. Dependent variable is gender.
Any idea?
Independent variable is gender of secondary school teachers. Dependent variable is professional attitudes.
Exactly, Buddha. So this is not a traditional research topic. And this is not a traditional research topic. So therefore, the first included variable can't identified as the independent variable, and the second one, the gender, can't identify as a dependent variable. So what we are going to test here, you read it once time. A comparative study of the professional attitudes of the secondary school teachers by the gender. So therefore, the dependent variable is exactly what it is. Gender. Sorry, the independent variable is the gender, right? School teachers' gender. So based on the gender, what we are going to test? Whether their professional attitudes may be changed. So therefore, the independent variable is the gender of the school teachers, and the dependent variable is what? The professional attitudes of the secondary school teachers. So therefore, another way you can develop your research topic. Now we are coming up with the second, third research portfolio activity, development of the literature review for the identified one variable, right? So in there, you have the chance to include these new pieces, right? A study of, right? A study of. And if we are taking the comparative studies, only you can include a comparative study of, right? Okay. Sorry. So the other one, as we discussed in the previous first dependent independent variable slide, you can include the determinants and the factors affecting for determinants for and the factors affecting for determinants and the factors affecting for here, right? Rather than the independent variable, you can include the determinants and the factors. If you have a lot of independent variables and you don't have the chance to include a lot of independent variables to your research topic. So then two options, another new terms, and the other one, you can take this kind of places also rather than including the impact, neither. So you can include a study of, right? A study of, and when including these kind of words, definitely change our basis of the dependent and independent variable. So therefore, you have to concern on that one also. Why we have taken the impact format? So we are asking you to include, okay, the impact or is not the effect of likewise, and you place your independent variable first and the second variable, dependent variable second. So that is a standardized format where we can take your clear idea. So otherwise you are not confused, no? If we are taking that format, definitely you include the dependent and independent variable first and the dependent variable second. So, but if you are including this kind, now you have the idea. Now you have the idea regarding your research topics now. So therefore, with that idea regarding your dependent, independent variables, you have the chance to decorate your research topics with these spaces also. A study of neither, a comparative study of likewise, a comprehensive analysis likewise. Right. So therefore, but when you're including that kind of decorative basis, you need to concern on the placement of your independent variable and the dependent variable. Example here, the second one, what happened? Even we are in the traditional research topic, we are including the independent variable first. If you take this kind of research topic format, what happened? Independent variable comes second and the dependent variable recorded as the first one. So therefore, you have to concern on when you are developing the decorative research topics, you have to concern on the placement of your independent variable and dependent variable. If you don't have the idea regarding placement, don't do this kind of things. Don't include this kind of things. Keep it as same it is. For the dissertation level, for the undergraduate level, starting with the impact or else the independent, only the dependent independent mention in the dependent independent variable only. So that is enough. All right. So then the second new variable, right? Second new variable. So this is the chance. The first thing, if you have already you have identified the independent and dependent variable from the first class onwards. But if you want to change your traditional research topic for a new one, right, new one and a comprehensive study, right, you can include the two variables, right, two variables, moderating and the mediating variables, very interesting variables, and you can take the novelty for your research by including the moderating and mediating impact. As I remember, one of the students, girl, identified the mediator or else moderator impact for the research topic. In the first, or else when I'm discussing the first portfolio, I realized that she included the mediator or the mediator or else moderator. That point I point it out. Okay, whether you include or else whether you created is this one, or else whether you have extracted this one from somewhere else. I thought she has extracted from somewhere else, but she rationalized it. No, okay, no, I developed it. So now this is the chance, right? You all have the chance to include the moderator variable as well as the mediator variable with the knowledge, right? Otherwise, sometimes you can't include, for the some research topic, you can't include the moderator, you can't include the mediator, right? Now with the identification of basic idea regarding these variables, two variables, try to include or try to implement this kind of a topic, this kind of research variables into your research topic, or else include these kind of variables into your problem. Build a problem on this kind of variables, and it will definitely create an impact for your research. All right. So then we'll start with the moderator variable. Right. So there is another variable called moderator. What, as the name implies, what is the main role of this moderator? Right. What is the main role of this moderator? It create the, or else it change the, it modify, it modify the relationship between the independent variables and the dependent variable, right? Moderator. Or else we are calling the independent variables relationship with the dependent variable. The relationship between independent variable and the dependent variable may change under different conditions, or else may change the moderator variable, right? Or else may change under the different conditions, where the different condition is identified as the moderator variable. මෙයා ඇවිල්ලා මොකද කරන්නේ? මෙයා independent සහ dependent අතර තියෙන variable එක ඒ විදිහටම පවත්වාගෙන යන්න ඉඩ දීලා තව විදිහකට කියනවා, හැබැයි මෙන්න මේ variable එකත් මේ දෙන්න අතර මැද්දට ගෙනාවොත් මේ දෙන්න අතර තියෙන සම්බන්ධතාවය වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Moderate කරනවා. Right? Moderator variable. Right? Okay, the factors. We'll identify that factor which is measured, manipulated, or selected by the experimenter to discover whether it modifies, as I previously explained, modify the relationship of the dependent variable and the independent variable. Basically, moderator variable change the relationship between, or else modify the relationship between independent variable and the dependent variable. Right. Okay, I will give an example to you. Let's take like this. Customer satisfaction. Right? Service quality. Service quality. And the customer satisfaction. Service quality and the customer satisfaction. So what may be the independent variable? What may be the independent variable? Customer satisfaction. Right? what may be there? Sorry, the dependent variable is the customer satisfaction, whereas the independent variable is service quality. You go to the hotel based on their service quality, your satisfaction level may be determined. Right. So this is a direct relationship. IB service quality, or as independent variable, the service quality provided by the hotel, and the dependent variable is the customer satisfaction. Right. So the gender, the customer satisfaction, in the sense we are going to measure the customer satisfaction. So then gender of the customer, maybe a moderator. Maybe a moderator when we are checking this relationship between service quality and the customer satisfaction. Service quality and the customer satisfaction. It's like this. This is service quality. Independent variable. This is B. What we are going to test, whether the service quality is creating any impact for the customer satisfaction. So this is the direct relationship that we are going to test, right? So, but based on the previous findings, we have taken the age, customer age. Age or else customer age. කාගෙද බලන්නේ අපි මේ? We are going to collect the data on customer. So then we are going to check whether the customer age, moderating variable, MV, moderating variable, create any impact. Right. So we already know there is a relationship or else there is any impact created by the service quality independent variable on the customer satisfaction. It is clear. Right. Now then, based on the previous literature, we already identified customer age also creating any impact in between this independent variable and the dependent variable. Now what we are going to do, so while we are answering for the main question, whether the service quality is impacted for the customer satisfaction, we have the chance to identify or else we have the chance to answer for or else inquire a second question also. What is it? Whether this customer age, based on the customer's age, whether this relationship between service quality and the customer satisfaction may be differ. Sometimes it may be. Right? When we are identifying, when we are answering for the first question, we are not concerning about the customer's age. What we are concerned on service quality, right? Service quality, and then the customer satisfaction. How we can take the service quality based on asking the question from the customers, right? So whether their service are quality one or else no. So then next one, we are taking the answers for the customer to measure the customer satisfaction. Are you satisfied or else are you highly satisfied? So what, based on which criteria? Based on the high providing services and based on their food and beverages, based on their accommodations, are you satisfied? And likewise, we are going to measure the customer satisfaction. Right. So then that is the first question. When we are answering the first question, we are taking the service quality and the customer satisfaction. But in the second question, we are really questionable whether the relationship between service quality and the customer satisfaction may be differ with the customer age or else customer gender. If it is a customer age, for example, we are taking in the first scenario, or in the second scenario, we'll take like this. The customers who are less than 30 age, right? Age less than 30, 20, 29. So they are really satisfied with the service quality and their customers. They are really satisfied. They are really satisfied based on the service quality provided by the hotels. නේද? එයාලා හොඳ service එකක් දෙනවා කියලා වෙන්න කවුද කියන්නේ? The customers who below the 30 age. Right? But in between 30 to 45, so they are moderately satisfied. They are moderately satisfied. Okay, they think, okay, their service quality is moderate and we also moderately satisfied. Third scenario, the customers who are above the 45, based on customers who are above 45, so they are not satisfied with the service quality and their satisfaction level. So they are really dissatisfied. Service quality, regarding the service quality and their customer satisfaction, they are not satisfied, dissatisfied. What was our conclusion? The customers who below the 30, they really satisfied, they highly satisfied. So because the organization or its hotel is providing the new food and beverages, and likewise 30 to 45, they are in the moderate level. But for more than above 45 students, so they are not satisfied, they are dissatisfied. What happened? Customer age changed the relationship or else modified the relationship between service quality and the customer satisfaction. Moderate. එයා මොකද කරේ? මේ අතර තියෙන සම්බන්ධතාවය මොකද කරේ? එයා modify කළා. එහෙම නැත්නම් එයා change කළා. age එක අනුව වෙනස් වෙනවා කියලා අපි identify කරගත්තා. I hope it's clear to you. So therefore, the role of this moderator is modify the relationship between, while they are keeping the first main relationship, they are definitely going to identify the main relationship first. That means service quality and the customer satisfaction. So that is the main relationship. Second point, they are going to investigate if we include this kind of moderator. What happened to this main relationship? Is it changed? Is it modified? Is it keep same as it is? Likewise, right? Moderator. Normally we are taking the moderators: customer age, customer gender. You can write it down. Customer age, customer gender. Not custom time, it may be the age, gender, education level, education level, education level, income level, income level, income level. Likewise, for as the moderator, if we are concerned on the persons, if we are concerned on the persons, you can take those things as the moderator, right? Okay, the next point. If you included the moderator variable, how you can create a research topic, such a research topic? Yes, any suggestions based on the same research topic, right? The impact of service quality on customer satisfaction on Sri Lankan listed hotels. Colon with the moderating impact with the moderating role of customer 8. Customer 8. You have the chance to create this kind of a research topic, right? So what it is, based on the given example, the impact of service quality on the customer satisfaction of Sri Lankan listed hotels with the moderating role of customer age, right? So, or else you can include service quality and the customer satisfaction of the second way. Service, no need to include the impact. Service quality on the customer satisfaction of Sri Lankan listed hotels with the moderating role of customer age. Likewise, you may have the chance to create your research topic also, if you are including the moderating variable. Another thing, if you are developing your research with the moderating impact, so you need to develop the questions. If you have the moderator for your research, you can include the main two questions. The first one, based on the given example, right? So what is the relationship, right? The first, okay. So this is the topic, right? If you include the moderating variable, you may have the chance to develop the research topic like this, right? Second one, if you have the moderator for your research topic, you need to develop two questions, basic two questions. The first one is to check the direct relationship between the independent and dependent. The second question is regarding the moderator, right? In such a scenario, you can develop the questions like this. What is the relationship? What is the relationship between service quality and the customer satisfaction? Service quality and the customer satisfaction. If it is regarding the impact, you can definitely create what is the impact of service quality on customer satisfaction. What is the impact on service quality on customer satisfaction? That is the first question. The second question regarding the moderator variable. So how you can create the second question? How you can create the second question? What is the moderating role of? Or else, yes, what is the moderating role of customer age in between service quality and the customer satisfaction? What is the moderating role of customer age in between service quality and the customer satisfaction? Or you can write it down. What is the moderating impact of customer age? What is the moderating impact of customer age? What is the moderating impact of customer age on the relationship between service quality and the customer satisfaction? Right? So what is the moderating impact of customer age? Customer age in the relation. In the relationship between service quality and the customer satisfaction. පළවෙනි question එක service quality කියන දේ impact එකක් create කරනවද customer satisfaction එකට. දෙවෙනි question එක තමයි customer age කියන කෙනා ඇවිල්ලා එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ moderator ඇවිල්ලා මේ දෙන්න අතර තියෙන සම්බන්ධතාවය වෙනස් කරනවද කියන එක. What is the moderating role or else what is the moderating impact in between the service quality and the customer satisfaction? Right. Okay, example number 2. Okay, read the example number 2. Okay. So the strong relationship has been observed between the quality of library facilities. We are naming it as a X. And the performance of the students, right? So based on the quality of library facilities, what happened to the performance of the students? It is Y. Although the relationship is supposed to be true generally, it is nevertheless contingent on the interest and the inclination of the students. It is mean that only those students who have the interest and inclinations to the use of library will show improved performance in their studies. So that means interest and inclination for the to use the library services will definitely create any impact between the service quality or else quality of the library facilities and their performance, right? So the relation in this relationship, interest and inclination is the moderating variable, right? Interest and inclination, it's a moderating variable which modify or that is which moderates the strength of the association between x and y variables, right? So x and y variable, the relationship between x and y variable is modified, is changed, or else in here the moderator is going to strengthen the relationship or association between x and y variable. Even so, the normal case, if the organizations or if the universities are having quality library facilities, what happen? The student performance is high. So that is the first. That is the first or as main relationship. Sorry. The first one is or as the main thing is so whether we based on the quality of library facilities, the performance of the students will be high. So that is what we are going to test first. But so even there are high library facilities, so the interest and inclination to use of these library facilities will definitely creating any impact between these high library facility services and the performance. Right? මේ දෙන්න අතර මැද්දට ගේනවා high library service එහෙම නැත්නම් library services quality නම් අනිවාර්යෙන් අපි identify කරගන්න ළමයිගේ performance හොඳයි. ළමයි refer කරනවා, ළමයි text books කියවනවා, ළමයි අපි පාඩම් කරන්න තැනක් තියෙනවා. ඒතකොට ළමයි හොඳට perform කරනවා කියලා අපි traditionally අපි හිතනවා. එහෙම හිතනකොට අපි තව දෙයක් අපි බලන්නේ. ඒක තමයි අපි බලන්නේ. The main question, right? The main thing that we are going to test is quality and the quality of library facilities and and the student performance. අපි එහෙම බලාගෙන යනකොට අපි check කරගෙන යනවා literature review වලට හම්බ වෙනවා එහෙම විතරක් නෙමෙයි. The interest and inclination. ළමයාගේ උනන්දුව සහ කැපවීම කියන දේ අනිවාර්යෙන් මේ performance වලට බලපානවා. High interest and inclination of the to use the library. ඒ quality service එක දුන්නට විතරක් බෑ ළමයා වුණත් ඇවිල්ලා ආසාවෙන් library එකට එනවා නම් ඒ කියන දේ ඒ condition එක එයාලගේ interest එක අනිවාර්යෙන් මේ දෙන්න අතර මැද්දට ඇවිල්ලා මොකද කරන්නේ මේ තියෙන සම්බන්ධතාවය වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So therefore he given the example here, so we can identify the interest and inclination is a moderating variable which moderates the relationship between the quality of the library facilities and the performance of the students. I hope it's clear to you the role of moderator. Next one, the similar name, no? Mediator, moderator, mediator, moderator and mediator. Mediator variable. What do you mean by the mediator? Atharamadik, mediator. Yes. The mediator variable, or is the variable that causes mediation in the dependent and independent variable. Right? So, or else it intermediates. It intermediate the casual consequences relating an independent variable to the dependent variable. That means the mediator create a surface between the independent and dependent variable. Right? Or else the mediator variable act as an intermediary in between the dependent variable and the independent variable. Right? So whereas we are calling it as a mediator variable. මෙයා අතරමැදියෙක් කවුරු අතරද? Independent සහ dependent variable කියන දෙන්න අතරමැද්දේ. Right? Okay. In the previous case, what happened? It's a moderator. It's moderate. Right? In the moderator variable, It moderates the relationship between independent and dependent variable. But in the mediator variable, it acts as an intermediary. එයා අතරමැදි එක. අතනදී මොකද වෙන්නේ? එයා moderate කරනවා. තියෙන සම්බන්ධතාවය එක්ක high එක්ක low එහෙම නැත්නම් එක එකිනෙක අණුව වෙනස් වෙනවා කියන එක ගේන්නේ කවුද? Mediate moderator. Mediator in the sense, mediator act as the mediatory. Right, intermediate in the relationship between the dependent and independent variable. Right. Okay. Example. We'll explain it with the example. The first example, service quality on the customer loyalty. Right. Customer loyalty through the customer satisfaction in mobile social media. Right. So that is what. So what we are going to test? Service quality and the customer loyalty. Through what? Through the customer satisfaction. Normally, the company organizations providing their services, right? Providing their services, and we can measure their service quality. Right? Service quality. Customer loyalty. What do you mean by the customer loyalty? You became a loyal customer. Daily, you are going there. An example, doctor. Right? So, service quality, you are taking the channeling services. Right? So, then based on their quality, or else you become first satisfied customer. The first day, you satisfied. Right? So, then the second day, you satisfied. Okay, this is good. He is talking with well, neither. He is asking other questions. Doctors la. So then giving the medicine නේද එකපාර දුන්න ගමන් ලෙඩේ අඩු වෙනවා ගාන අඩුයි එහෙනම් මොකද වෙන්නේ you are well satisfied with the service provided by the doctor. Then that means customer satisfaction. Once you're having a customer satisfaction, high customer satisfaction, you become a loyal customer. එහෙනම් හැමදාම යන්නේ කාගාටද? ඒ ඩොක්ටර් ළඟට. එයා හොඳට කතා කරනවා, හොඳට හොලිඩේ ගැන අහනවානේ. සමහර ඩොක්ටර්ස්ලා ඉන්නවනේ ඉඳගත්ත ගමන් මොකද කියන්නේ? එයා දන්නවා සමහර ලාට ලෙඩේ නිසා ඉතින් ගොඩක් වැල්වට අරන් ඈ බේත් දීලා ආවනවා. හැබැයි සමහර අම්මලා ඉන්නවනේ ඉතින් අපි එහෙම කැමති නැති. නේද? අපේ අය ඉන්නවනේ එහෙම කැමති නැතුකොට මොනවා හරි දෙයක් කතා කරලා නම අහලා නේද? තව විස්තරත් මොනවා හරි අහපුවාමනේ කැමති. අන්න ඒ වගේ සර්විස් ක්වොලිටිස් තියෙනවා. එතකොට දැන් මේ අනේ ඩොක්ටර් නම් හොඳයි. නේද? ඒ ඩොක්ටර් හොඳයි. එයා ගියපුවම ඔක්කොම විස්තර අහනවා. ඔක්කොම විස්තර අහලා තමයි මගේ බේත් දෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා මම satisfied. As a customer I'm satisfied. එහෙනම් මම හෙටත් යන්නේ ඩොක්ටර් ගාවට. අනිද්දාත් යන්නේ ඩොක්ටර් ගාවට. නේ? මොන ලෙඩේ හැදුනත්, කැස්සක් හැදුනත්, එම්බිරිස්සාවක් හැදුනත් මම යන්නේ කාගාවටද? ඩොක්ටර් ගාවට. එහෙනම් what becomes? A loyal customer. Right? That means who is the intermediary in between? If we are considering about the service quality and the customer loyalty, who is the mediator or who is the intermediary person? The customer satisfaction. Right? So service quality, the doctor is providing the service and the customer. Once you become the customer, satisfied customer, you became the loyal customer. So therefore mediator is which one? The customer satisfaction is the mediator. Customer satisfaction is a mediator. Meanwhile, you have the direct relationship between service quality and the customer loyalty. Right? You have the direct relationship. Meanwhile, we are going to identify whether the customer satisfaction is a mediatory variable or is playing a mediatory or is playing an intermediary role between this service quality and the customer loyalty. Right. The second example, financial performance on the relationship between social responsibility and the ownership structure. Yes. What it is? What is the mediator variable? Yes. Financial performance on the relationship between social responsibility and the ownership structure. As name implies, financial performance become the mediator variable. Mediator variable. Okay. Next step. So this is how you can. If you remove the moderator part here, right? If you remove the moderator part, this is a conceptual diagram where we are including the moderator, mediator, moderator, mediator, and the independent and the dependent variable. Next one, we'll identify what do you mean by the control variable and where you can replace the control variable. Right. If it is a mediator, moderator variable, you need to keep the arrow like this. Right? If it is a mediator, what the mediator role? So mediator in the sense it creates the intermediary role in between the independent variable and the dependent variable. We'll take the first example, customer loyalty. Okay. So if we have taken the customer loyalty as a DV and the customer satisfaction as a mediator and the service quality as the independent variable, right? So you can develop the research topic like this, the service quality and customer loyalty. No need to take the impact, and likewise service quality is my independent variable and the customer loyalty of Sri Lanka listed hotels or else whatever the sample size. So then with the mediating impact of, right, here you need to remove the roller, with the mediating impact of customer satisfaction. මම මේ දෙන්නම තමයි check කරන්නේ. ඒ අතරේ මම මොකද කරන්නේ? මෙයාමත් include කරනවා. Right? Okay. So if it is so you can identify as same as the moderator, mediator also, you can develop the two questions, research question. The first question, what is the relationship or else what is the impact of, the first question is denoted with this arrow. Later on we'll identify this is a hypothesis, right? Hypothesis. The service quality, is there an impact of service quality? Or else what is the impact of service quality on the customer loyalty? service quality එක බලපෑමක් ඇති කරනවද කාටද customer කෙනෙක් loyal කරන්න. Right? So meanwhile, that is the first question. What is the impact of service quality on the customer loyalty? First question. The second question, what is the mediating impact of? What is the mediating impact of? What is the mediating impact of customer satisfaction? What is the mediating impact of customer satisfaction in between service quality and the customer loyalty? In between service quality and the customer loyalty. What is the mediating impact of customer satisfaction in between service quality and the customer loyalty? If we further explain regarding the second question, in the second question, what we are going to test, first, this arrow, right? What is this arrow represent? Is there an impact on service quality towards the customer satisfaction? This arrow. Service quality towards the customer satisfaction. The second one, once you become the once you become the satisfied customer, is it creating a loyal customer? This arrow, second arrow, right? But here the first arrow, or as this is called as the main relationship, right? Or else the direct relationship. We are naming it as a, if you want, you can write down it. I didn't give it in the handout. So this is called as the direct relationship. Direct impact of service quality on the customer loyalty. Direct. You can see here, this is a direct impact. So where we make a question for the, as may we make the first question, what is the impact of service quality on the customer loyalty? Direct relationship, right? So this one, this entire one, from the here with the through the customer satisfaction to the DB. So this is called as the indirect relationship. Indirect relationship. Direct relationship here to here, right? In direct relationship, service quality to the customer loyalty, that is called as the direct relationship. Unfortunately, I can't annotate, right? So that is why the second one, regarding the second question, we are going to test the indirect relationship through the second question. What is second question? What is the mediating impact of customer satisfaction in between service quality and the customer loyalty? So that is the second question. What the second question test is the indirect relationship. Indirect relationship. We know exactly there might be a relationship between service quality and the customer satisfaction. Now, while we are checking this indirect relationship, we are going to test while we are checking this direct relationship, we are going to test the mediator impact also, or is the indirect impact created by the customer satisfaction, which is questioning through the second question, right? Okay. So this is a conceptual framework where you can include the mediator, moderator, and the dependent variable. Right. The next one, control variable. Right? Control variable. What do you mean by a control variable? Yes. Do you have any idea regarding control variable? Have you heard it before? Control. Control variable. Yes. control variable is a variable. What its role? Same, it's a variable and it's a constant, right? It's a variable, constant in the, or it's constant throughout the study. Right? It's a constant. It acting as a constant, right? Constant throughout the research study. Or else we can identify it as like this also. So sometimes, so for the dependent variable, other than the independent variable, there are a lot of variables impacting 4. Right? So other than the selected independent variable for your study, so there are a lot of factors, there are a lot of independent variable or else unidentified independent variables which are affecting for the dependent variable. For example, let's take the firm financial performance. Right? So you have selected the working capital management policies as your dependent variable. What is your dependent what is your independent variable? Working capital management policies, whereas the dependent variable is firm financial performance. Right? Hope it is clear. Independent working capital management and the dependent variable firm financial performance. Right? So firm financial performance is not impacting only by the working capital management policies. So there are thousands of independent variables which are affecting for this dependent variable firm financial performance. What those are? Company growth, neither. Company growth, customer satisfaction, customer loyalty, service quality, and the marketing strategies, human resource management strategies, and if we are coming with the financial side, capital structure, dividend policy. So there are a lot of sustainability, a lot of factors affecting for the dependent variable firm financial performance. Right? Firm financial performance is subject to the changes in other lot of variables, independent variable. Out of these lot of variables, we taken only the working capital management as independent to our research. Out of lot of factors which are affecting for the independent variable firm financial performance, we selected a one variable. Right? So there may be other unidentified, there are a lot of unidentified factors to the research model. We are not going to test those things. We only taken the working capital management. Right? So then what is the control variable role is? It's controlling. It's controlling the unidentified factors. Right? The unidentified variables impact to the dependent variable. Right? It's controlling the unidentified factors, or is the unidentified variables impact to the dependent variable. So that is why that is the purpose of having the control variable to our research. Right? So that means it's control. It's control throughout this, and as well as it act as a constant throughout the research study. Right? Okay. For example, control variables. ඒක මෙන්න මෙහෙමයි වෙන්නේ. දැන් dependent variable එකට ගොඩාක් factors බලපානවා නම් ඒ factors ගොඩාක් අතරින් අපි ගන්න එක fact එකයිනේ අපේ study එකට. එතකොට තව අපි අඳුනගත්තේ නැති factors ගොඩාක් තියෙනවා මේ research එකට. ඒ impact එකත් අනිවාර්යෙන් firm financial performance වලට එහෙම නැත්නම් dependent variable වලට එනවා. Dependent variable එක depend වෙන්නේ ඔයා select කරගත්ත research එකේ independent variable එක මත විතරක් නෙමෙයි. ගොඩාක් උදාහරණවලට firm financial performance, the quality of financial reporting quality මේ වගේ traditional research topics වල තියෙන independent variables වලට අනිවාර්යෙන් ගොඩාක් factors බලපානවා as a independent variable. එතකොට අපි ඒ අතුරින් ගන්න එක variable එකක් වුණාම අපේ dependent variable ට අරගොල්ලෝ unidentified factors, unidentified independent variables මත ඇතිවෙන impact එකක් තියෙනවා. එයා control කරන්නේ කාගෙන්ද අපි control variables include කරලා. So therefore another point, if you have the variables such as service, variables such as firm financial performance, financial reporting quality. Likewise, definitely you have to place the control variables to control the impacted created by the unidentified factors to the research model, right? Research model. So normally control variables placed here, that means placed below the dependent variable like this. Right, below the dependent variable. Okay, while we are coming to the conceptual framework development, I will show you where you need to place the control variable. Right, normally the control variable is placed in this space below the dependent variable. It's a must. Right. Okay, so then we'll have a 10 minutes break and come. We'll meet at 10. Okay, we'll start. Okay, I hope you all can see the screen. Okay. So now we are going to identify the role of literature, right? Role of literature in developing the conceptual model, right? In developing the conceptual model, right? If we are doing the conceptual model, and if we are doing the research in the qualitative research, we have the analytical framework, and we have the analytical framework. So what do you mean by a conceptual framework? It illustrates the expected relationship between your variables, right? Expected relationship, or else it illustrates the relationship between the independent, dependent, whatever the variable, through the arrows. Sometimes it may be having the chance, or else it is a represent of the relevant objectives. It represent the relevant objectives for your research process and map out to a coherent conclusion. So that means conceptual framework, it's an illustration. It's an illustration and pointing out the relationship between your variables, meanwhile the objectives of your study, right? So these may be the objectives, and throughout this relationship will be graphically shown by the conceptual model or else conceptual framework, similar names, right? Here, conceptual model, conceptual framework, analytical framework. So those are similar terms, Right. So when we are developing the conceptual framework, definitely we need what? We need theories, right? We need theories. The theoretical base should be there when we are developing the conceptual framework. Meanwhile, you have to identify some assumptions. You have to identify the concepts behind your research and present them in a pictorial, graphical, and narrative format, right? So this is my theory, or else the research conceptual framework has been developed with the base of this theory, right? So meanwhile, it shows the objectives and research objectives and the relationship between variables. So this is called as the conceptual framework. Right. So then how you can develop the conceptual framework? How you can develop it? Right. The first one is you need to identify a research topic. You all have the research topic. Once you identify your research topic, you may have the chance to develop a research conceptual framework. Therefore, the first step is identifying the topic. So then you need to do a literature review and identify your variables. Literature review in the sense reading the similar articles, similar papers to your study, right? Similar findings, similar papers, similar interested, or as the relevant conceptuals, relevant concepts. You need to read these, the previous findings on these things, right? So once you read the similar findings, once you do the literature review, you have the chance to identify your variables. That you have the chance to identify the variables and then isolate the important variables. When you are reading, you may have the chance to identify a lot of variables in your concepts, within your theories. So important variables for your study, right? Valuable variables, right, to your research topic. So then you need to graphically develop the, or else you need to graphically show the relationship between each variables by drawing the conceptual frameworks. The steps, there are 4 steps. You need to identify your research topic first and do the literature review. That means read the similar findings and isolate the important variables to your study. Based on this important variable, you need to graphically show the relationship between each of the variables with the objectives, right? Okay, we'll come to the draw the conceptual frameworks. Okay. So this is a conceptual framework. This is a conceptual framework, right? So conceptual framework, we are normally taking for the conceptual framework these boxes, right? So this type of drawings, not the circles and likewise, right? So the left hand side, so what is the variable that we place? Definitely it should be the independent variable. Independent variable. You need to place the independent variable in the left hand side. Right? Left hand. So then you need to place the dependent variable in the right hand side. That is must. Right? That is must. So you need to draw the first independent variable, or else if there are a lot of independent variables, it should be like this. We'll take here IV1, here IV2, independent variable, IV3, IV4, independent variable 4. For the service quality, other than the service quality, for to make it as a customer loyal, to become a customer loyal customer, we'll take pricing, and then marketing, and the other one pricing, marketing, service quality, environment, physical environment. So you first place the independent variables. How many independent variables do we have? Service quality, pricing, marketing strategies, and the physical environment. IV1, 2, 3, 4. So you place the independent variable in the left hand side. So that is must. So then you place the dependent variable also. What is our dependent variable? Customer loyalty. Right? Definitely you need to include those things within the boxes. Right? So then dependent variable right hand side, right? Customer loyalty. So that is IDV. You don't need to name those things as a DV and IV. Just I include it because of their information purpose and to become to it should be become the clear one in the first glance. So that is why I include it as a DV and the IV. But in the practical context, you don't need to include it as a IV and the DV. Right. Now you place the dependent variable and the independent variable. You need to show the relationship, right? You need to show the relationship. How you can show the relationship? By including or else by connecting these independent variables with the dependent variables through the arrows, right? The first arrow, it shows the service quality. There is a relationship between service quality and the customer loyalty, which is denoted by the first arrow, right? Next week or next week or this week we'll identify. You need to name these arrows as with the hypothesis. Therefore, it should be like this. Now, the second one showing the relationship between pricing and the customer loyalty, another independent variable. Right? Another independent variable which shows the relationship between pricing and the customer loyalty, the second one. Right? The relationship between pricing and the customer loyalty. Second arrow, you need to name it as a H2 or else with the hypothesis. This is the relationship and this is the testable statement, H1. So third one. You need to show the relationship between marketing and the customer loyalty. This is the relationship which is denoted through the arrow. The relationship in between the marketing and the customer loyalty. A testable statement, that is H4. The last one showing the relationship between physical environment and the customer loyalty. It is the testable statement. It is H4 or its hypothesis. Likewise, you need to first place the independent variables in the left hand side, and the dependent variable right hand side, the customer loyalty, and then each and every dependent and independent variable should be linked with the arrow by showing the relationship within those two, right? Service quality and the customer loyalty, the relationship. Pricing and the customer loyalty, the relationship, second arrow. Marketing and the customer loyalty, third arrow. Physical environment, the relationship between physical environment and the customer loyalty, the fourth arrow, right? Meanwhile, it shows the question also, right? So if you have the idea, now you have the chance to develop the questions based on this relationship, right? It's very easy, right? If you don't need to confuse those things, right? So what you can develop the based on this graphical format easily, you can develop the 4 questions, right? 4 question, what is it? The first question, right? The first question, what it is? දැන් පුතා ඔයාලට තියෙනවා variables කීයද? independent variables 4ක්. නේද? එහෙනම් question dependent variable එකක් තියෙනවා. දැන් ඔයාලට මෙතනදී ගන්න පුළුවන් research topic එකක් විදිහට කොහොමද ගේන්න පුළුවන්? Determinants for the customer loyalty. Determinants for the customer loyalty, or its factors affecting for the customer loyalty in the manufacturing companies in Sri Lanka, in banking industry Sri Lanka, and likewise. Or else you can include service quality, pricing, marketing, and the physical environment on the customer loyalty. So there are 4 independent variables. You include the impact of service quality, pricing, marketing, physical environment, and the customer loyalty in the banking industry. It may be another way. Right? Or else you can include it as a determinants for the customer loyalty in manufacturing or as in banking industry Sri Lanka. That is a second way. Third way, factors affecting for the customer loyalty in manufacturing or as the banking industry. So that is the third method. Right? Or else you can put all these 4 variables into a basket and name that basket and include that one with the dependent variable. An example here, the service, pricing, marketing, and the environmental, no, that means we'll take it as a marker, the 4 piece, no? We are calling it as what it is. Pricing මොනවද අපි ඒකට කියන්නේ marketing mix නේද පුතේ? Okay, so for regarding the services, so there are 7 factors, whereas the regarding a product, so there are 4 factors, no? We combine those things, right? So instead of that one, you can include the research topic, marketing mix, and the customer loyalty. In the banking industry Sri Lanka, what it is, you put all these independent variables to a basket, a relevant basket. We are calling it as a concept, right? So you identify a concept and then you include that concept with the dependent variable as your research topic. Another way. So likewise, you may have the chance. So that is the most preferable way. That is the most good way to develop your research topic if you have the more independent variables, right? So, okay, I will write it down again. Save one. The first one. Marketing mix and customer loyalty. Of commercial, yes, license, commercial, banks, in Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka. So this is the first research topic. The second research topic I am discussing in line with this conceptual framework, right? In line with this conceptual framework. So what are the research topics that you can develop? The first one is marketing mix, right? Marketing mix. The second one. What may be the second one? You can include determinants, neither. Determinants for determinants of customer loyalty. Customer loyalty of licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka. This is the second way. Third one. Factors affecting. Factors affecting for customer loyalty. Customer loyalty එකට බලපාන සාධක මොනවද? The factors affecting for customer loyalty of licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka. Fourth one. Fourth one, the service quality. Service quality, what is the other one? Pricing, marketing. Service quality, pricing, marketing, and physical environment. Environment on customer loyalty. Customer loyalty. Again, you can write it down. The impact. Neither. The impact of marketing mix. So these are the alternative ways, right? Marketing mix and customer loyalty. What this is, we didn't include all of the independent variables to the research topic. Instead of that one, we identified the relevant concept for these 4 independent variables. So it is marketing mix, right? Relevant concept is marketing mix. So then we include the marketing mix and customer loyalty. Within this research, we are going to test about the marketing mix and how it impact for the customer loyalty, right? So then the first one, we include the concept. So it is very clear. We are recommending you to include, we are recommending you to go with this kind of research topics, right? So then what it is, you identify the relevant concept, you include the relevant concept with the dependent variable. So this is again independent variable, no main independent variable. This is the main independent variable. ඒක මේ කියන factors හතර බලපාන්නේ මොකක්ද මේ independent variable එක මොකක්ද main independent variable එක marketing mix. ඒ යටතේ අපි කතා කරනවා කාවද service quality, pricing, marketing and the physical environment. How those 4 factors will be impacting for the customer loyalty. Rather than including the marketing mix, so you may have the chance to include the determinants, right? Determinants of the customer loyalty. ඒකෙන් කියවෙනවා marketing mix එක ගැන. එහෙනම් determinants. Another way. Again, you can include the factors, right? Factors affecting for the customer loyalty. මොකද කියන්නේ factors කියලා අපි ගේනවා factors කියලා දානවා අපිට කියන්න බෑ ඒක. ඒතකොට marketing mix එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන එක marketing mix එක කියලා නිශ්චිත වශයෙන් කියන්න බෑ. හැබැයි අපි factors ටිකක් ගේනවා. ඔයාලා research එක ඇතුළට ගිහින් බලන්න ඕන මොනවද මේ factors කියන එක. එහෙනම් factors affecting for the customer loyalty. So that is also one strategy, good strategy. So then you can include the all of the independent variables with the dependent variable. So that is a one way, but we are not normally including all of the independent variables with the dependent variable as a research topic, right? So what we can include is the best method is you can identify the relevant concept, relevant main independent variable to your research topic, and then include that research topic with the dependent variable. Right. So identify the main concept is marketing mix. So then under the marketing mix කියන දේ හතරකට අපි බලනවා. එහෙනම් independent variables කීයක් තියෙනවද? There are 4 independent variables under the marketing mix: service quality, pricing, marketing, and the environment. So these are the 4 factors coming under the environment, coming under the marketing mix. We are going to test those 4 factors, 4 independent variables with the dependent variable customer loyalty. Right. So let's identify how you can develop the research question for this kind of a research, right? So now you have how many independent variables? So the concept is marketing mix. We are going to test the marketing mix, and then we are going to identify the 4 independent variables with the dependent variable. So very easily you can develop the question like this. If you have any concern regarding the developing the research questions and the objectives, now this is the chance, right? So when you are developing the literature, before moving to the literature review identification, definitely you can clear your research questions and objectives as like this, right? So with inline of the conceptual framework, right? My advice is I'm giving the portfolio activity number 3 in the next week as a due date. So then try to draw the conceptual framework for your studies, right? Based on the conceptual framework, try to develop the research questions and objectives as I'm going to do it now, right? So then we have 4 independent variables. Very clear, 4 independent variables, 4 questions. The first question, right? So what is the relationship? What is the relationship between service quality and customer loyalty? And customer loyalty of the listed commercial banks in Sri Lanka? This is the question. Or else you can develop it as like this also. How? How service quality impact customer loyalty of listed commercial banks in Sri Lanka. So this is a one way. Same one. You can start it with it how or else what. Right. The second question. What is the second question? Second question you can develop based on the pricing, right? So the same one, what is the relationship? What is the relationship between pricing and customer loyalty of listed commercial banks in Sri Lanka? Question. Meanwhile, you can develop it as a how. How pricing impact or customer loyalty. How pricing impact for the customer loyalty of licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka. Second question. You can start it with the what or else how. Sorry. You can start it with the what or else how. So this is the second question. Second question, it is regarding the pricing. It's regarding the pricing. Third question. What is the variable we have? The marketing. Right? So then you can easily develop what is the relationship between marketing and customer loyalty and the customer loyalty of the licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka. Right. The second one, second way, right? So how? You can develop it as like this. So what is the impact of? Neither. You can develop it as what is the impact of? What is the impact of? Sorry. What is the impact of? What is the impact of marketing on marketing strategies on customer loyalty of licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka. This is the second way. For the third research, it should be started with numbering. Third one, right? So you can start it with what is the relationship between marketing and the customer loyalty of licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka? And another way, what is the impact of marketing on the customer loyalty of the commercial banks in Sri Lanka? Again, you can write it down it like this also. How marketing impact on customer loyalty. This is the third question. Third question, right? Third question regarding the variable 3. Independent variable 3, it is marketing. Last question, it is regarding the fourth variable, the physical environment. So then how you can write it? What is the impact of what is the relationship between, we'll start with the relationship. What is the relationship between the physical environment and the customer loyalty of the licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka, or else how physical environment How physical environment impact how physical environment impact for the customer loyalty of the licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka. So this is the regarding the fourth question and the independent variable 4. I don't have a color. No. So how many variables do we have as per the conceptual framework 4? The first one, service quality, pricing, marketing, physical environment. And so these are the 4 independent variables. So what is our concept to reflect these 4 independent variables? So that is the marketing mix, right? Marketing mix. Now we have developed 4 research questions based on these 4 variables. So what is the first variable? You can start again, right? Again, you can start it with the what. So normally we are writing the question with the WH format. Sometimes you can start it with the does. Does and is also, right? So does and is also. Anyway, so while I'm going through your research questions and objectives, so there are a lot of implications. So that is why I'm doing it again and again. But if you don't have any idea regarding the questions, you can refer it here now. Right. So then normally we are starting with the objectives. We are starting with the research question with the WH formats, right? WH formats, that means why, how, and the what, when, likewise. Other than those WH formats, we are taking does. Does, you need to start it with does and is, likewise, right? So in the first question, we have started with the what. And what is the relationship between service quality and the customer loyalty? If you are taking the relationship and between, you need to refer here and. Right? You need to link the independent variable and the dependent variable with the word and. And definitely, you need to include the research area or else the sample that you have included to your research topic. So that is must. That is must. That means how many components again? You need to start it with the question format. So this is the first one. And then you are going to include what is the thing that you are going to test. Is it a relationship? Is it an impact? Likewise, the second one. And placing the independent variable. Third one. Placing the dependent variable. Fourth one. And your area. Right? Your sample should be included as the fifth one. So these five components need to be very clearly placed in your research topics, right? So or else the same research question has been written down with the term of how. It's a WH format, right? How service quality impact for the customer loyalty in the respective area. Again, try to identify 5 components. You started with the question format. The first one is okay. And the second one, what is the thing that you are going to do, right? You are going to test the impact, right? The second one. The third one, placing the independent variable. It's clear, service quality. Fourth one, placing the dependent variable, customer loyalty, okay, and the research area or else the sample, right? Sample is the licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka. It's very clear, right? So the second question, it is regarding the second independent variable. Second independent variable. So what is the second independent variable? It's the pricing. It's pricing. It's pricing. So then you develop the research question. It's regarding the pricing. So what is you have started with the WH format. What? Right? What? Relationship. What is the thing you are going to test? It is the relationship. I'm going to test the relationship. Right? So relationship between the independent variable, placing the independent variable pricing, and the dependent variable customer loyalty, and the sample, right? Licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka. So that is the thing that you are going to do. So that is the sample area. So then you can write it down it as a how pricing impact for the customer loyalty for the licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka. The same way, same question has been written down. Anyway, you can change the format. Here the first we have taken the what, and the second one we have taken how. Again we have taken in the third question what is the impact rather than the what is the relationship. Likewise, you can change the writing pattern, but the 5 component is compulsory, and other than these 5 components don't include any other things. Right? මේ පහ හැරුණාම වෙන මුකුත් දාන්න එපා. ඩෙකරේටිව් නම් කරන්න යන්නම එපා. රිසර්ච් එකක් කරනකොට ටොපික් එක ක්ලියර් වෙන්න ඕන, ප්‍රොබ්ලම් එක ක්ලියර් වෙන්න ඕන, ඔයගේ ක්වෙස්චන්ස් ක්ලියර් වෙන්න ඕන. ක්වෙස්චන් එකක් ක්ලියර් වෙන්නේ නැහැ වෙන වෙන දේවල් ඉන්ක්ලූඩ් කරලා තියෙනකොට ක්වෙස්චන් එකට. ඒතකොට ක්වෙස්චන් එකක් පටන් ගන්නෙම WH ෆෝමැට් එකෙන්. ඒ WH ෆෝමැට් එක අයින් වුණාම අපිට යනවා does do කියලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් is ගන්න පුළුවන් අපිට. ඔන්න ඔය කියන ටිකෙන් තමයි අපි ක්වෙස්චන් එකක් ෆෝම් කරන්නේ. ස්පෙෂලි පුතා when we are developing the research questions, right, for the quantitative research, right, for the quantitative studies, quantitative research, keep that in your mind. For the quantitative research, we are going to have the WH format, what and the how. What and the how. You can use is and does, do and likewise. But out of the WH format, what and how. But if it is a qualitative research, normally we are not including what. Instead of that one, we are starting the question with why. Why? Why in the sense it's a descriptive format. So if you are asking the why, so the same answer so let's assume for a question, you're asking from me a question. So the same answer is not why. Why you like this? Why you like the SAP campus? If I ask that question, different. So if in your batch there are 120 students, so the 120 students give the 120 answers. If I ask the why question, right? So that therefore the qualitative studies, for the qualitative studies, we are starting with the questions with the why. And therefore, how also can be taken. How can be taken for the both ways, for the quantitative plus qualitative. You can start it with the research question with the word how for the even your study is quantitative or is qualitative. But why don't start with the questions with the why if you are not referring a qualitative study. For the quantitative study, please start the question with why. For the quantitative studies, please start it with the question with the what, how, do, does, is, and likewise. Right. So, okay. So third question regarding the third question, it's regarding the relationship between third variable, marketing and the customer loyalty, right? Marketing and the customer loyalty. And so then it can be written down as the another way also. The fourth one, it is regarding the physical environment and the customer loyalty of the listed, for the licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka. And we can write it down it as a how also. So these are the 4 questions. How did you derive these 4 questions based on your, yes, conceptual framework? Now see here, right? Your research variables is regarding the 4. Your research questions are regarding 4 variables very clearly, and your conceptual framework also showing the relationship between these variables very clearly. So therefore, the second important thing, I will check those things. Those things are not listed in your handouts, not included in your handouts. So therefore, very correct. There are 56 students. No, I'm checking those things in exam. Meanwhile, the proposal presentation is also. So therefore, participation is very much important. මේවා ලියලා දීලා නැහැ නේ. එතකොට මේවා තේරෙන්නේ නැති වුණාම මම දන්නවා ඔයාලා මේ පිස්සු කරගෙන යනකොට ලෙක්චර් එකේ ඉඳලා නැහැ කියලා. ඒතර මම ඒවා හොඳටම කන්සර්න් කරනවා. Right? Okay. So then, otherwise, this may be very easy. It will be very easy if you are concentrate on the lessons. Right? Okay. Anyway. Questions The first question, see here, what is the relationship of the service quality and the customer loyalty? Or else, what is the relationship between pricing and the customer loyalty? Second question, what is the impact of the marketing on the customer loyalty? What is the impact of physical environment on the customer loyalty of Life and Commercial Bank Sri Lanka? Right, so this is a very easy method how you can develop the questions. The next point, if you are developing the questions with the format, right? So with the formats, including the five components, essential components, you have to maintain that standard, right? It's like this. You need to maintain a standard when you are developing the questions. Same standard should be there. For example, if you have started what is the relationship, you need to write down the other three questions with the what is the relationship between, right? So that means the standard should be there. A standard in the sense you have to develop the question as the same manner. The first question is what is the relationship? The second question is what is the impact, right? Likewise, you can't develop the questions. If you started with the what is the relationship, so you have to write down the other four questions with the relationship. What is the relationship? What is the relationship? Third one also, what is the relationship? Fourth one also, what is the relationship? Instead of that one, if you have included the what is the impact as the first question, you can write down the what is the impact, what is the impact, what is the impact, and what is the impact. That means order with the standard should be there. So therefore, the first question is what is the relationship. The second question is the what is the impact, and likewise you can't develop it, right? Anyway, if you are having broader questions, here we are discussing about the questions in line with the research conceptual framework. No? So therefore, other than if you don't have any moderator variables and the mediator variable, this platform is good to develop the research questions. But if you have the other broader research variables, so it could be, if you have the broader research questions, so they are the type of the starting of the research question may be differ. Right. For example, rather than including these four independent variables, okay, I will explain that one later on when we are discussing about the moderating variables and the mediator variables. I hope it's clear to you. Develop the research topics, and then develop the questions, and then develop the conceptual framework. The research topic is regarding the marketing mix and customer loyalty, and the questions based on the four variables, you develop the questions. The first one is regarding the service quality, and the second one is regarding the First one is regarding the service quality and the customer loyalty. The second one is regarding the customer loyalty and the pricing. The third one is regarding the marketing and customer loyalty. Fourth one is regarding the physical environment and the customer loyalty. So these are the questions. In line with the questions, definitely you need to develop the research objectives too. Right? The first one, question, what is the relationship? The research objective should be to identify the relationship between service quality and the customer loyalty of the commercial banks in the Sri Lanka. So therefore, identifying the object or developing the objectives in the sense you need to convert the same research questions with the 2+ action work. You have to start the research question with the 2. Definitely, it should be started with 2. 2 plus action verb. To identify, to determine if it is a relationship, you can determine it. So then to analyze, to explore, to examine, to discover, likewise, right? So therefore, you can include the research questions like with the WH format, and you need to develop, or else you need to convert that identified research questions to the objective with the term 2 plus the action verb. So very easily you can convert the identified research questions to the objective. No issue. Right. Okay. Tell me any question on this one. If you have any question on this one. Yes, you can ask any question from this one. Because the other conceptual diagram, it may be complicated than this one. That is fine. No questions. All are clear. Okay. Alright. So then I'm not asking you to upload the portfolio activity number 3 in the next week, right? So once I complete this lesson, I will ask you to develop your portfolio activity number 3. Why? So already you have identified the independent variables and the dependent variables only, right? But you have the chance, as the undergraduate, you have the chance to include the moderating and the mediating variables to your research topic and have an idea. Start that kind of a research, right? So including moderating and the mediating variables. So those are very interesting areas. And you have the validity for your research topic also rather than including the dependent independent variable. In the moderating variable එකක් include කරාට පස්සේ කවුරුණත් බලනවා ශාමිලා මම හොඳට research එක කරලා තියෙනවා මේ අලුත් දෙයක් කරනවනේ කියන එක. ඒ නිසා if you have any idea regarding the moderator variable and the mediator variable, already even you develop the research questions and objective for the unidentified 2 topics within the same research topics, right? Under the same research topic, you try to identify the independent variable and you try to identify the moderating variable and the mediating variable. Then a මත ඔයාලට search කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් ඔයාලට research topics දෙකක් තෝරගෙන තියෙනවානේ. topics දෙකෙන් ඔයාලා questions උත් හදලා තියෙනවා. ඔයාලා objectives උත් හදලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේ objectives questions හදලා තියෙන research topics දෙකෙන් ඔයාලා mediator variable එකක් include කරන්න කැමති නම් ඒ තියෙන research වල ඔයාලා upload කරලා තියෙන research topic එකේ area එකෙන්ම mediate impact එක moderate impacting එක තියෙනවද කියලා බලන්න. තියෙනවා අනිවාර්යෙන්. ඒ research areas වල තියෙනවා. එතකොට දැන් ඒ ගැන කියවන්න. We are in the process of developing on a proposal. If you are doing the portfolio activities properly, it's very easy. And try to do it with me. දැන් මම ඔයාලට දැන් මම එක portfolio act number 3 complete කරන්න එපා කියලා කියන්නේ. දැන් මේ lesson එක කරාට පස්සේ ඔයාලට ලොකු idea එකක් එනවා measurements වල. Dependent independent variables, moderating variables. ඒතර ඔයාලට පස්සේ හිතන්න පුළුවන් අනේ මගේ research එකට moderating variable එකක් ගේන්න බැරි වුණානේ මට කියලා හිතෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් ඔයාලා mediators දන්නවා, moderators දන්නවා. දැන් ඔයාලට පුළුවන් ඒ ඔස්සේ search කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලගේ research topics දෙකක් තියෙනවනේ. ඒ රිසර්ච් ටොපික්ස් දෙකෙන් හොයන්න මොඩරේටර් වේරියබල්ස් තියෙනවද මේ රිසර්ච් ටොපික්ස් වලට? මගේ රිසර්ච් එකේ ඉන්ඩිපෙන්ඩන්ට් ඩිපෙන්ඩන්ට් වේරියබල්ස් අතර තියෙන රිලේෂන්ෂිප් එක වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද මොඩරේටර් එකකට මීඩියේටර් එකකට වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? එහෙම කරොත් මම දැන් ටොපික් එක හදන විදිහ ඔයාලට කියලා දුන්නා. එහෙනම් ටොපික් එක හැදෙන්න ඕනේ මේ විදිහට. කන්සෙප්චුවල් ෆ්‍රේම්වර්ක් එකක් අඳින්න පුළුවන් කියන ඒ කන්සෙප්ට් එකට එන්න පුතා. ඒ ස්ටේජ් එකට එන්න. ඒ ස්ටේජ් එක හරිම වැදගත් ඔයාලට. අලුත් දෙයක් කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ ලෙසන් එකෙන්. ඇත්තට මේ ලෙසන් එක ඉගෙන ගත්තොත් අලුත්ම දෙයක් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඔයාලගේ රිසර්ච් එක විදියට. ඔය හැමදාම ට්‍රැඩිෂනල් රිසර්ච් ටොපික් කරනවට වඩා. දැන් ඔයාලා නෙක්ස්ට් ඉයර් රිසර්ච් එක කරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ තවත් අපි අවුරුද්දක් පරක්කු වෙලානේ. දැන් හරිනම් අපි තව අවුරුද්දක් ඉස්සරහට තියෙන දේවල් ගැන තමයි හොයන්න ඕනේ. දැන් ඔයාලා අවුරුදු 10කට 15කට පරණ දේවල් හොයාගෙන ඉන්නවනම් කිසිම වැඩක් නැහැ. තව අවුරුද්දක් ඒ ටොපික් එක පරණ වෙනවා. මේ අවුරුද්දේ ඒ රිසර්ච් ටොපික් එකට මදාල රිසර්ච් කරනවා. ඒ නිසා ඔයාලට අලුත් දෙයක් ක්‍රියේට් කරන්න පුළුවන් තැන තමයි මෙතන. ඉන්ක්ලූඩ් කරනකොට වේරියබල්ස්. හරි පරිස්සමෙන් ඉන්ක්ලූඩ් කරන්න ඕනේ. සමහරවිට මේ මීඩියේට මොඩරේටර් ගැලපෙන්නේ නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා කියවන්න. මම මේ ලෙසන් එක කම්ප්ලීට් කරාට පස්සේ ඔයාලට පුළුවන් ඒ ඩිවෙලොප් කරපු රිසර්ච් ටොපික් එකට ඔයාලා සිලෙක්ට් කරගත්ත ඒරියා එකෙන් ඔයාලා ඉන්ක්ලූඩ් කරා නම් ඉන්ඩිපෙන්ඩන්ට් වේරියබල්, ඩිපෙන්ඩන්ට් වේරියබල් with the moderator mediator එහෙනම් එයත් එක්ක ලිටරචර් රිව් එක ලියන්න. මේක තමයි third activity එක. ඒතකොට එතනින් පස්සේ අපිට වෙනස් කරන්න බැහැනේ ගොඩක් දුරට. ඒ නිසා රිසර්ච් ටොපික් වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන්, වෙනස් කරන්න බැරි නැහැ. අපි එතනින් පස්සේ ඩිසිප්ලින් එක වෙනස් කරන්නේ නැහැ. කෝපරේට් ගවර්නන්ස් නම් කෝපරේට් ගවර්නන්ස් වලට තමයි යන්නේ. ඉතින් එහෙනම් මොකද තේරුමක් නැති වැඩක් අන්තිමේට වෙනකම්. ඒ නිසා මේ වෙලාවේදී ඔයාලට අලුත් දේවල් එකතු කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා කියවලා බලලා හොඳ knowledge එක explore කරන්න. දැන් literature review කරන්න අනිවාර්යෙන් කරලා next week එක once I complete this week and the next week or else yes, next week most probably. So then you can do the literature review. You can therefore ready for the literature review, the portfolio activity number 3. Okay, I hope it's clear to you. If you have any question on this one, you can ask. So regarding the portfolio activity number 1, just I go through the 2-3 research topics and the questions and objectives. So that is why I didn't check in. So there are a lot of complications. So you don't properly develop it. So if I'm wasting my time on evaluating two topics with the questions and objective, I hope it's a waste of time. So therefore I thought to one by one evaluate your research portfolio activities and give the comments for the third one. So then you have the proper idea regarding the selected topic now. So then if I evaluate on that area, so it will be create any impact to you. So otherwise, if I'm going to evaluate two topics, it will be a waste of time. If you removed one topic, I commented, but you left that one. So then in that sense, it's a waste of time. So therefore, anyway, I'm giving the marks. We are normally giving the marks for your proper works, but I'm not going to comment on this one. I will evaluate the third activity. That means portfolio act number 3, literature review, once you submit it and give the comments. Okay. If you have any concern on this one, question on this one, you can ask.
All clear.
All clear? Okay, Putara. Thank you very much for your participation. Have a good day.